Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good day so far. Don't jump to a reading yet because I'm going to explain what each of these cards means that's here on the table. And I'm going to pull some angel numbers. So if you've been seeing angel numbers or if angel numbers have a lot of meaning for you, that might help you feel a pull towards the correct reading for you. Today we're looking at choice. So if you're deciding between two things or two paths forward, this is definitely the video for you. In each reading, we're going to take a look at both the outcome of both choices or both paths. So in each reading, you're going to get both of the options discussed. So we'll have a card to represent the outcome of the first option, outcome of the second option, the positive and negative results of each, something that you should consider that you haven't considered yet, and some general advice for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull some angel numbers now, and I'm going to explain what each of these cards mean. So let's start over here. We have the 3 of air. So if your decision or your choice has to do with education, study, or communication, this might be your reading. If your choice has to do with the balance between body and mind, this might be your reading. Next, we have the 2 of air. This has to do with opposites. So if the choice that you're deciding between the two things are very opposite of each other, this might be the reading for you. Reading 3. For reading 4, we have the 2 of water, which is about relationships, commitments, or reconciliation. And lastly, for reading number 5, we have the 10 of fire, which is about self-mastery, evolution, and enlightenment. So if any of these speak to you about what's like the topic of your choice, then that might be the reading for you. You won't see these cards in the reading because I'm going to put them back into the deck in case they need to come out during the reading. So you'll know that you're in the right place depending on whether the color of the star or the moon that you have. I'm also going to pull some angel numbers, and maybe that will help you select your reading. Okay, first we have 888, abundance, for reading number 1. For reading number 2, we have 2424, unconditional love. For reading number 3, we have 2713, mindfulness. For reading number 4, we have 111, manifestation. And for reading number 5, we have 3939, playfulness. Okay, take a second, see which reading is calling to you, and the timestamps will be in the description for you to pick. The angel number cards that you see here from this deck, the angel number oracle, and I'm going to be using the Dreams of Gaia tarot to help us today make our decision. Welcome to reading number 1. We have the yellow star here, 888, and abundance. And then the card that might have brought you here was the 3 of air. You don't see it over here because I actually put it back into the deck because it might need to come up in your reading. So we will see if it does come up. But otherwise, let's get started. So if you're choosing between two things, assign it to position number 1 or position number 2 before we get started. This is going to be the outcome, the positive results, negative results of the first option, outcome, positive results, negative results of the second option. So assign it before we start. Okay, let's get started with the outcome of option 1. Abundance. That is so crazy that it lines up with your angel number card over there. So I think if you go with option number 1, it will bring you into a state of plenty, but one where you're appreciating the things that you have, being generous, giving and receiving freely. It sounds like this will have a good outcome for you overall. Let's take a look at the positive results. Love. Okay, so taking this path could bring love into your life. And that doesn't just have to be like romantic love, family love, friendships, self-love. It will just bring more of a love energy into your life, which I think is really wonderful. That's a very strong, positive result. Let's take a look at the negative results of taking this path or choosing this option. We have the 6 of water reversed. So this is about pettiness, spite, revenge. This could be that others might want to bring you down if they see you doing so well, Or it could be that you might be doing so well that you kind of want to shove it in other people's faces, how good your outcome has been. And this card cautions against doing that. So don't shove your success in other people's faces, but also keep an eye out if other people want to bring you down. It's just because you're doing really well and you need to stay in your state of abundance and love, and don't let these people bring you down. Okay, let's take a look at the second option, the outcome. We have the King of Earth. Okay, so it looks like this will also have a pretty good outcome for you. You'll have pride in your accomplishments. You're going to be very satisfied and secure. You'll feel like the master of your own life and kind of like that everything you touches turns to gold. So both very good options here. Let's take a look at the positive results of the second option. The Four of Water. Okay, so choosing this option or taking this path will bring you confidence and a lot of self-awareness. You may have made some mistakes in the past, and taking this path instead will allow you to forgive yourself for what's happened in the past, and you'll just be a little bit more integrated. Yourself will be more integrated, meaning your shadow and your light self, and you'll just be more forgiving and accepting of yourself. Let's take a look at the negative results. The Six of Earth reversed. So taking this option might involve you doing work and helping other people, but you're not going to be happy about it. You might feel like a martyr. So this cautions against doing things for other people if you aren't fully happy about it and you don't want to just give out of the goodness of your heart, I guess. Don't expect anything in return. And if helping other people makes you feel like a martyr or a victim, just don't do it. Okay, we're going to take a look at something that you haven't considered yet, and you should maybe consider. We've got the Five of Air. So there's a need for honesty here. Perhaps if you keep in mind honesty, that might help you make this choice. Are you presenting yourself one way to other people and then you feel very different on the inside? It might be time to remove the mask, remove the blindfold, show your true self to the world. Okay, this last card, we have general advice for you. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, it did come up in your reading, which is great. The Three of Air. So perhaps you need to learn a little bit more about each option before you move forward, or you can prioritize education, study, lifelong learning. If you prioritize that, that might also help you make your decision. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your reading and it brought you some insight. Please leave me a like if it did. Leave a comment down below as to what brought you here. I'm always curious if it's, what items on the table are resonating, so let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm a new channel and that really helps me out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Take whatever has resonated, leave the rest here, and enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Reading number 2, welcome. The card that you had was the Body and Mind card. I put it back into the deck in case it needs to turn up in your reading. Actually, in the last reading, it turned up in the advice position, so I'm curious to see if it turns up anywhere here again. We also have the Green Moon, 2424, Unconditional Love. Let me know in the comments what brought you here. I'm always curious as to what is resonating for people. Otherwise, let's take a look at the outcome of your choices or options. Before we start, you need to assign each option to, so this is option 1, this is option 2. So have the two options, the choices in mind, and assign it before you look at the cards. Otherwise, let's get started. So the outcome of option 1 is the Four of Air. So choosing this option or taking this path will bring a lot of structure and order into your life. Perhaps it'll make you more productive. I don't know if that is a positive or a negative for you. I guess it really is a part of that is up to what your life is currently like. So this choice, though, will bring a lot of structure and order and routine into your life. Let's take a look at the positive results. The King of Water. Okay, so taking this route will make you feel very calm. You'll feel balanced between your logic and your emotions, perhaps because there's just more structure and routine in your life. And you'll feel very strong because of those things. It'll make you feel strong and in charge, but it'll also help you be adaptable and just handle, the curveballs that life throws at us. So let's take a look at the negative results. Okay, thought reversed. So this path or this choice, this option, might lead you to make some negative comparisons, and you might end up being very critical of yourself. Might have a lot of negative self-talk, negative thoughts going on, and you're going to have to get a handle on that, because the way that we think about ourselves and our life bleeds into reality. This is like manifestation, things like that. So you'll want to get a handle of those negative thoughts before, if you choose to go this route. All right, let's take a look at the second option, the outcome. Okay, we have the wisdom card. So this option will bring you a lot of understanding and awareness of yourself. It might be a more unfamiliar path, but you'll grow from it and you'll learn a lot from it. And you do have the tools to walk this unfamiliar path. You can see in the card that it's dark, but he's carrying a lantern. He has the tools to illuminate his way forward. Okay, let's take a look at the positive results. The Queen of Fire. Okay, so choosing this option will make you feel very independent, vibrant, warm, full of energy, full of optimism, and just very excited about life. So those will be the positive results. Interesting that these are both court cards. So the positive impact of both of these will be more so about yourself and your personality and things like that. Let's take a look at the negative results. The Child reversed. Okay, so the independence that you feel will also have a downside to it. So you'll feel excited about your independence and that you are being the one in control, but it will also be a little frightening because you'll feel like there's no one to shelter or protect you in case something goes wrong or in case you fall. You'll kind of feel like you're out on your own, and that might be a little scary for you. Let's take a look at something that you haven't considered yet. The Scribe. Okay. Whenever I see this card, I immediately ask if you're a writer or a journaler, things like that. You might want to go back into your old writings, your old journals, even your old social media posts, and see if there's something in there that might help guide you in this decision. But apart from that, this card can also mean that you just need to seek out more information, do a little bit more research before choosing an option. You need to learn more. This card is like, go to the library, do some research, seek out advice, seek out guidance. You'll need that before you make this decision. Okay, and advice for you. Oh my God, it happened again. That is wild. Okay, we have the Body and Mind card here. So the advice for you is to seek out balance between your body and mind. Be open-minded, question things, and make sure that whatever choice you go with, it brings health and happiness in both body and mind. Okay. That's all I have for you. I hope that this reading resonated for you. Take whatever did, leave the rest. If none of it made sense, go back to the beginning and try again. Pick another reading. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so those really help me out. Let me know in the comments what brought you here. Again, I'm always curious. And if you have a question that you'd like me to answer in a future video, please leave that in a comment as well. Otherwise, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope that you'll join me again in the next video. Welcome to reading number 3. Before we get started, let me know in the comments what brought you here. We have our crystal, see-through kind of looking star. We've got our 2713 mindfulness oracle card. And then the card from the deck that was here was the Two of Air, which is that card about opposites, polarity, things like that. I put it back into the deck because actually in 2 other readings, the card showed up in the reading to give some advice. So I put it back in the deck in case that needed to happen for this reading. Otherwise, have your 2 options in mind and assign them 1, 2 before we get started. All right, let's take a look at option 1, the outcome. 3 of Fire. So this option will involve some action on your part. Perhaps it's a little bit more of a creative decision, exploring a creative path. It may involve some sacrifice on your part, but this is a card of movement and change. So things will change. Might even involve some travel, things like that. All right, let's take a look at the positive results. We've got the King of Water. So taking this option or this path will feel very calm, and you'll feel like the one in charge. There's a good balance between logic and emotion here, and you'll feel very strong and very adaptable, like ready to take whatever comes. Let's take a look at the negative results. We have the Six of Earth. So this option might involve you to do some stuff or some work, some stuff for other people, work for others. And that might upset you and make you a little angry. It might make you feel like a victim or a martyr. This card cautions against those feelings. If you don't want to do things for other people, don't. Make sure that you're doing things for yourself. And if you are doing things for other people, do it out of selflessness and don't expect anything in return. Okay, let's take a look at option 2. We've got the outcome first. 8 of Fire. This is another card of action and change. So this option will involve a lot of transformation and a lot of change, but it's for the best. This is kind of like a level up. You can see she's like a phoenix. So if this is like moving houses, changing jobs, changing lifestyles, this option is going to do some active change in your life, and it might involve some taking action on your part in order to get that done. Let's take a look at the positive results. The 4 of Fire. So this option will really allow you to focus your mind and your emotions. You'll be very focused and dedicated to whatever you want to achieve, the goals that you have in mind. And you'll also be able to build skills with this option. Very like useful skills that will help you in the future. Let's take a look at the negative. We've got the 4 of Water reversed. So the change might bring us some success to you, and it might make you a little arrogant. Or this might be the more selfish option to take. Just not like selfish, like I guess selfish in the sense of it's like you're in your self-interest in order to do this. And it might bring pain to other people because this is the option that's better for yourself. Especially when we look at the negative over here, where this is like you're doing things for other people, but you're mad about it. This option is like doing things for yourself, and that might cause some pain to other people. Not always a bad thing, but something to keep in mind. It might be difficult for you to cause that pain, and that's why it's here in the negative. All right, let's take a look at something that you haven't really considered. We've got the masculine feminine card. Okay, so this is a card about balance and asking you about balance between the masculine energies and feminine energies, which is kind of like being passive versus taking action, or being aggressive or not, creation and destruction. Evaluate the energies in your life. Take a second, reflect on it. Are we taking too much action? Are we being too passive? Are we creating things? Are we destroying things? Evaluate the masculine and feminine energies in your life, and that might help you with this decision. All right, last card is advice. Let's see what we get here. Okay, the 6 of Fire. So there might be some kind of a conflict happening that needs to be resolved. And the way that it can get resolved is through mediation, which is support from other people, someone else to help resolve the conflict it could be between you and another person, but not necessarily. It could be a legal conflict. It could be a conflict within yourself. But with this card, your behavior will impact the outcomes. So you need to make sure that you are behaving correctly, following the laws, keeping other people in mind, things like that. Your behavior will affect the outcome, especially your behavior in this conflict. But consider resolving the conflict, because that might help you make this decision. Okay, I hope that this reading gave you some insight. If it did, please leave me a like. Let me know in the comments what brought you here, if it was the angel numbers, the other card. Let me know. I love to know what's resonating with people. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, and that really helps me out. Otherwise, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you'll join me in a future video. We have our darkish moon, 111 manifestation, and the other card that might have brought you here was the 2 of Water, which has to do with relationships, commitments, reconciliation. I don't have that card here for you because I put it back into the deck in case it has a message for you within the reading. And that actually happened in a couple readings, which was super cool. But let me know in the comments what brought you here. I'm always curious as to what's resonating for people. So please let me know. I would love to know. Otherwise, have your 2 options in mind, the 2 paths forward, whatever, and assign them a position here. So this is option 1, this is option 2. Assign them before we start the reading. Otherwise, let's take a look. Also, actually, before we start, make sure that you are taking what's resonating and leave the rest. And if this just feels way off, then maybe go back to the beginning and select another reading. Otherwise, take a look at option 1 first. We're going to take a look at the outcome. Okay, we have the self. So this option will feel very aligned with your identity. It will bring you a lot of inner peace, and it will let you get to know yourself a little bit more. And I think that confidence in the self and that knowledge of yourself will help you feel and realize your unlimited potential. Let's take a look at the positive results of this option. Abundance, that is a very positive result. So you will be in a state of plenty in this option. You'll also have appreciation for what you have, and you'll feel very generous and just more comfortable with giving and receiving in equal share. Let's take a look at the negative results. We have the hero. So this option might put you in a position of needing to be a guardian or a protector. And interestingly enough, this is definitely selfless, which is interesting considering that we have the self card in the outcome. But it might require you to be a little bit more selfless because you will have to focus on others, guarding and protecting others here. And that might not be ideal for you. That might be uncomfortable, or that might not be something that you like to do. All right, let's take a look at option 2. Intuition. So this option might be one that you are more intuitively drawn to. This one might feel more natural in terms of yourself and your personality, but this is someone that's calling you intuitively. So taking this option will strengthen your intuition and just help you be more in touch with your intuition. Let's take a look at the positive results of this. The 3 of water reversed. So this option will allow you to free yourself of unrealistic expectations. And just because of that, you'll be more open to the possibility. You won't be as tied to the outcome of the decision or the choice because you'll be free of the expectations. And when we have too many expectations, that can sometimes lead to disappointment. Let's take a look at the negative results. We've got the 9 of earth. So taking this choice or this option, you will have to be more generous and more giving. It's interesting that that's kind of a theme here in both of these options. You'll need to give away what isn't needed and what's not serving you anymore. And that might be challenging because we can sometimes be tied to things just because they've been with us for so long and they're hard to give away and let go of. But this option is going to force you to let go of those things and that will help other people. Helping other people, being altruistic in some way, it's going to be required here, and that might be a little difficult for you. Let's take a look at some advice. Sorry, not advice. This is something that you haven't considered yet. This is the 3 of earth. So the seeds have already been planted, and I think that you're not taking that into consideration. Or perhaps you're not considering that what you invest is what you will be rewarded with. So keep that in mind here. You're going to reap what you sow, and make sure that you're sure of your motives, especially because these are very different outcomes driven by different motives. This might feel more familiar to you, but this is what your intuition is telling you to do. Be sure of the motives, and there's definitely no right or wrong path to choose, I don't think, because both of these, have positives and negatives attached to them. But be sure of what your motives are, and it's time to make the preparations. Things have already been put into motion, so keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the advice. Love reversed. You need to let go of love that isn't serving you anymore. You might have dreams and fantasies about the past or what was, and you need to release those. We need to be more in the present and be realistic and look at what's going on right now. We're letting go of love that doesn't serve us. That could be love for other people, but it could also be self-love. Increase your self-love, let go of the negative self-talk, and that will help you here. Okay, I hope this reading resonated for you. Again, let me know in the comments what brought you here, and if this reading gave you more insight, please leave me a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm a new channel, and that also really helps me out. Otherwise, thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope you'll join me again in a future video. Welcome to reading number 5. We have our white star here, 3939 playfulness. And the card that might have brought you here was the 10 of fire, self-mastery, evolution, enlightenment. I didn't leave the card here for you, like over here, because I put it back into the deck in case it had some message for you within the reading. That actually happened in a couple of other readings, so I'm glad that I did that. But before we get started, let me know in the comments what brought you here, whether it was our angel numbers or the other card, the 10 of fire. And before we go into the outcomes, assign your options. Option 1, option 2. Decide which option is going to be where before we get into the reading. Otherwise, let's take a look. The outcome of option 1, the mother. Okay, so cards like this, I can tell you that it can sometimes just be face value. If mother in this situation means something to you, it could be as simple as that. If mother doesn't really mean as much, it could indicate that the outcome of this option will bring you unconditional love, increased intimacy with the people around you, a lot of nurturing, abundance, and growth. It might bring some new ideas or projects for you as well. Let's take a look at the positive results. The 9 of earth reversed. You'll be allowed to really focus on yourself and not get you might give a lot to other people, and this option will allow you to, instead, the energy that you put into others, put that energy into yourself. You can focus that energy inwards, and this will allow you to engage in a lot more self-care. Let's take a look at the negative results. Destiny. Okay, so things might start happening that are out of your control here. And that's kind of what that destiny card means. It's things that are happening outside of your control. Prepare for a long road ahead. This is not an instant gratification situation. It's going to take a while to come together. Prepare for obstacles as well. There might be some obstacles that you have to face, but it's all a part of the greater plan here. And sometimes it's difficult to accept, but that's what we got to do here for this option. Let's take a look at the outcome of option 2. Knowledge. So this option will allow you to learn, might bring about more study into your life, and you'll gain a lot of practical experience, and you might gain some new skills. Let's take a look at the positive results. We have the child reversed. Again, take that at face value if that means anything to you, child reversed. Otherwise, it could mean that you'll be a lot more independent and you'll be out on your own. There's not going to be anyone to shelter you, force you into making other decisions. You'll be making your own choices in your own path in this option. Let's take a look at the negative results. Thought reversed. So you might start making some negative comparisons if you take this option or go down this path. You might be a little critical of yourself, and there might be some negative thoughts that you'll have to deal with here, but it's important to gain control of them and work through those negative thoughts, because thoughts impact our reality, and you do not want the negative thoughts to be having a negative impact on your reality. Okay, let's take a look at something that you haven't considered. Queen of Fire. So this could be another person that's impacting the situation, or it could be yourself. I'm going to describe this person and you'll have to decide which it is. Queen of Fire could be a fire sign, someone who's very optimistic, enthusiastic, warm. They love to have fun, independent, energetic, and very confident in the choices that they make. They don't second guess themselves. This could be a person in your life that might be influencing or might help you with this decision, or this could be aspects of yourself that you need to consider and get in touch with before you decide how to proceed. Let's get some advice. 2 of Earth. This card is all about balance. This can be work-life balance, responsibility to others, and self-care balance. It could also indicate that you're going to have to be ready to compromise and be flexible, and also be realistic. There's only so many things that we can juggle at once. Be a little more realistic about what you can handle and what you can manage, and try to find more balance in your life. All right, I hope this reading gave you some insight and helped you with this decision. Again, let me know in the comments what brought you here, whether it was the angel numbers or the other card, the 10 of fire. We did not see it here in this reading, which is fine. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and if you feel like this didn't resonate with you at all, feel free to go back to the beginning and select a new video. Leave a comment if there's a question that you'd like me to answer in a future video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so that really helps me out. Otherwise, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you'll join me in a future video.